Hello, and welcome to another episode of
The Lume Plotters.
Yeah.
And today we are continuing on with the episode that we left off on because we ran out of time because we talked too much.
How can that happen? How can we run out of time? It's impossible.
Well, instead of making it longer, we decided to break it into two episodes. And this, of course, is our predictions episode for what's going to happen in 2024. I almost said 3, but it's 4.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2024, I got my little membership card renewed for the Ratana, which is, for those of you that don't know, a little like hotel chain, but based in the region, based out of Abu Dhabi. And it's like the food discount voucher card thing. And it said expiration 2025. And this is the first time I've seen 2025 written. And in my mind, I was thinking, geez, that's like 3 years from now. But sadly, it's not.
Yeah, it's like the 90s are, 10 years ago, but they're not.
It is, exactly. If you told me what was 10 years ago, I'd say the 90s.
Exactly. It's like...
And to think that that's 30 years ago now, 30
it's insane.
This is insane.
Yeah. Some of our listeners have not been born. They have born in the zeros.
Which is what's interesting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So once again, let's do a quick recap.
Okay.
What we covered last time. We covered, we started with Casio and G-Shock.
Yeah.
Because apparently we talked for like 30 minutes about G-Shocks last time. Then we went into Seiko and Grand Seiko. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, the takeaway there was smaller dive watches. And then we talked about Rolex and Tudor. And as far as I remember, that's where we left it. Mm-hmm. In honor of this, I am wearing my Tudor Pelagos FXD, which I think we said we would like to see a new Tudor Pelagos being made that's kind of a svelte redesign of the original with a bracelet, of course. Yeah. I don't know what else they would do, but no more 15 millimeter case size, something wearable.
Yeah, that would be lovely. I mean, we know, I think we actually really know that there will be the new Prince chronograph, right? The one that was announced.
You said this, that we know, but Rolex tends to screw with us.
Yeah, I want the baby Daytona.
But they say that they will do something and then we think that they're going to do something. But as I told you, Tudor is generally, in my opinion, a proving ground for Rolex, right? Almost everything that has come out of Rolex has previously been done in Tudor. So for instance, this went all the way back from me for the first time they used the in-house movement, right? They had a in-house movement, 70 hours on the North Flag, right? Well, it took them the better part of a decade, but then they had 70-hour movements in the Rolexes. I think that was 2020. So 5 years. Then they were doing titanium.
Really? Is the 3-2 the two movements?
Yeah, they're 70 hours now.
Yeah, I know.
Before it was 48.
But did they only come out I thought they already had them.
What?
In 2015, no? 70
hours. No. Rolex was doing 3235s and 3230s.
Because the date...
3130 and 3135s. 3135 with date, 3130 without date was 48 hours.
When came the Datejust 41 out? When was that replaced, the Datejust 2? Because that is when they had the...
That was the first one. Yeah, exactly. So that was the 3235 movement.
2017.
Was 17.
So it must have been already under development then by that time, I think.
Of course it was under development, but I'm telling you that it's been in production for 2 years, essentially, on Tudor models.
Yeah, you're right. And at the time, the Tudor production facilities were on the campus of Rolex, right? Correct. They had just one building in the Rolex campus where they had their machines. And
I have more than this. I have more. Titanium on the Pelagos, also developed on the Rolex grounds. Then display case backs, also developed on Rolex grounds, put into the Black Bay, the Black Bay 58 silver and gold.
Correct. That was the first
all
one,
of these were then put into Rolexes
And the ceramic
later
as
down
well.
the line.
Ceramic had this as well. The ceramic Black Bay.
So we said this ceramic. They had a ceramic case, which means they're probably going to go in the way of ceramic. And they have Metas. Maybe Rolex will consider Metas down the line. Who knows?
Yeah, I doubt this for Rolex. I think
I don't, because they have superlative.
They have superlative. They have their own standard, right? But I think.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, I mean, of course, Rolex had the, what was this, the Ducati version there, the Fast Rider, Black Shield Fast Rider. That was already in ceramic, available in ceramic. So,
and then they did the
has
Black Bay ceramic.
Yeah, and then the Black Bay ceramic. So yeah, maybe we
But
see
Black Bay
ceramic
ceramic was in the new factory. So Black Bay ceramic, if I'm not mistaken, was the what's it called? The Metas one. Which was done in the new factory. But the old Fast Riders were done in the old factory, which was literally inside the Rolex building. So,
and that's the next question. Maybe I think at that time, Tudor might have also used a bit more, how do you say, outside suppliers for cases and stuff. Because at that time, they still made their hands outside, for example, right? They didn't do their own hands. There's a lot of these little things where it's all smoke and mirrors, right? We don't know.
It is. We don't know. And we're sitting here guessing, but we have no freaking clue what they're doing.
Nobody knows. They're so secretive. They don't give interviews.
Exactly. So ergo, we make guesses. But anyway.
And that is all the fun.
We talked about this already. Let's move on. What are you wearing?
Okay, I'm wearing, in honor of the brands we are talking today about, my Breitling Super Ocean Arrowhand from 2009.
Okay, which looks exactly like the new Avenger.
A bit, yeah. But it has, even though it's a dive watch, it has the winged logo. Yes. Some people say it's a bit too busy, this dial, but that's why I like it, you know. It's like
Breitling is known for busy dials.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the Navi timer. I mean, you can't see anything on it. I mean, you can't see the dial on it. There's only printing.
So by the way, does this mean we want to talk about Breitling next?
Yeah, exactly. Let's start with
Let's do it.
Ta-da!
Let's start with Breitling, which we already did not a whole episode, but a good chunk of one of our previous episodes was dedicated to Breitling purchasing Universal Genève.
Yeah, which is then the next brand we will talk about, but that's very short because let's do Universal Genève first. They will be nothing coming into 2024. That's my prediction.
Because it's coming in 2025.
Yes, exactly. and probably even later. Who knows?
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Done Universal Genève.
But since with this, what are they going to come out with first? One of our listeners commented and said that they would like to see, and this is a super weird one that I didn't know about, and I had to look it up, but they said that they would like to see a film compacts re-edition. So I had to do a little digging on what is the film compacts, and turns out they made a chronograph specifically for filmmakers. And
yes.
I mean, that's ridiculous. So what I don't know what your timing on it essentially. But if you look at film compacts, there's less than 10 known in the world. But if you look at the dial and the things that it's counting, if I can find a decent enough picture to blow up here, I mean, I'm guessing this is a film. Once again, I should have read the article, but it says film compacts on the dial.
Yeah.
The outer ring counts to 90.
Okay.
The inner ring, there's two rings on the. It's not really a bezel. It's on the outside of the. What do you call it? The inside of the rehaut, outside of the dial, and then the inside counts up to 36, and it counts by what, halves and thirds. So it's like 22 and a half, 22 and a third. So
weird. That is.
What is this doing?
Is this the length of the film rolls at the time? Probably.
I'm wondering,
right?
if this is something to do with that.
When you have to switch the roll of your cameras and all of stuff, but then they have different camera angles and all of stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's a specific movie making time slots that you had, limitations that this would cater to. But we have to remember, this is the time when there was no electronic way of, there's no quartz watches at the time, right? There's no phones. There's no, either you had a normal stopwatch, mechanical stopwatch that you would use for these things, and that's it. That's the only way you could time things.
All right. I'm going into more detail now.
Okay.
So the once again, there's two scales. As I mentioned, one counts to 90, one counts to 35 or 36. 35, sorry. So one ring, it says the black ring and the red ring, but the picture is so crap that you can't even see anymore because it's so decayed, the watch, the example that they took a picture of. But one ring indicates a 16 millimeter film, and the other one is for 35 millimeter film, calibrated to the industry standard at the time of 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're timing how long or how many frames you've used in this to measure the amount of film that was used in feet per minute as well in the subdial. So there's a lot of these weird timing things.
Yeah, that's the cinema standard, right? 24 frames per second, which is a bit choppy sometimes when you have the big panning and,
So I have a little bit more. I have an old brochure here, which is even cool. They had, according to them, the film compacts, 35 and 16 millimeter films, 1/5 second stopwatch that will permit intermission stops and continue timing from a point already reached, 30-minute footage recorder dial, and 12-hour recorder dial.
Well, interesting use case. Obviously, that was some practical use case that actually was used, like, the doctor's pulsations and all of this stuff.
Exactly. This reminded me of the pulsation dial.
Very interesting stuff. And I think, why not bring this back? I mean, they have the movie squad, right, from Breitling. So maybe they have a movie squad for Universal Genève.
Yeah, except for the movie squad doesn't care about the actual filming of films.
They're actors. Right? They just do acting, what they're told.
Correct. Anyway, all right. So that was an interesting comment on our post. I will give a shout out to the gentleman who commented it because I think that was an excellent Pure DCL.
Pure DCL. Thank you very much for your feedback and keep them coming. Love to discuss this on the episode. So,
all right.
Universal Genève, we predict there will be nothing in the next year because there will be heavy involved in working through their releases for the next 2 or 3 years, whenever they come out. Yeah. And what do we think? 15,000 and above, at least 10,000 and above, they will be expensive dollars, right? They will be expensive above Rolex, Breitling. They have already said that.
I never said that.
No, Breitling said that.
Said.
George Kern said that.
Did they say this?
Yeah. They said this will be clearly positioned above Breitling.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't hear that part.
They have this. They said this in interviews with Sylvain has said that, marketing sales guy, I think, for Rolex, and so that's their positioning. Anyhow, so going to Breitling, because Breitling will have new watches next year. What do we think they will come up with?
Okay, I will have one thing, and then you can go. I know you're going to spend 15 minutes on Breitling.
No. I will be quick.
I would like, once again, there was a reissue. I think it was 1954, was it? They made the 1950 something reissue of the Navitimer, right? Navitimer. Hold on, Navitimer. It was 1959, maybe. The small one. The small one, it had no. Was it the 15? Sorry if I'm dragging here. Let me just double check to make sure that I'm not misquoting. They had a 1959. It had some 14 on the dial, but it had ultimately no date function, which I really, really liked. It was, I believe it was like 39 or 40 mm. It was a little bit smaller than the general ones.
Yeah.
And I think, it was 41, sorry. But it looked proper. It looked vintage. I really liked it. But I would like something similar. But it had the weird Breitling dial logo, the one that looked like a open book, laid flat kind of deal. What is it? You know what I'm talking about?
The square in the middle.
It's like a square with two like wings or something. I don't know. But anyway, point of stories. I would like to see this in like a 39 millimeter size without Fotina.
Yeah. Okay.
So small, no date Navitimer for me.
Yeah.
And I would really like that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. So what I think we will see a couple of more Premier chronographs. I think different colors. I mean, it's a bit like the Datora as well. These kind of things. Did you know that Rajiv actually got the Datora when it was released with the Salmon dial?
He has
that watch, and it's pretty cool. And he got that even on release day with a discount. That's not anymore happening because Breitling took over the boutiques here, right? So there's no more discounts in the two major malls. Yeah, so that's I think what will happen. I think we will see maybe a bit more off the beaten path things. The top times, Renat, these kind of watches that we have seen before with the Ford Thunderbird, Ford Mustang Triumph, these car things, where I feel a tiny bit that the car, there is not much of the car inside the watch itself, except
I also felt the same thing about the Spitfire and the plain ones as well.
Yeah,
I felt that the ones that were released 2 years ago had zero real inspiration from the airplanes they were referring to.
Exactly. It's basically the case back mostly, right, where the logo is on. So basically on the front of the watch, you see nothing Shelby Cobra or Chevrolet Corvette. And you should spend then, $40,000, $45,000 on the tourbillon version of it. Is a bit of a tough ask, right, I think. But hey, I think we will see some of these.
I'm sick and tired of Breitling's double branding things, right? The motorcycle brands and this and that, and it's always something else. I think they have an excellent back catalog of watches. They need to refine their designs.
I agree.
And stop trying to piggyback on other people's brand names to sell watches.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, they have the classic Aviator Type 20 style watches, which is an odd collection to have, I think, in their collection, but they do, and it's pretty nice. They have the whole Super Ocean Heritage, which I'm not the biggest fan of. They have the professional line with the quartz watches. I might see something in the professional line, right? I think the aerospace and these kind of watches might get an update, maybe. The Super Ocean, I don't like the current version. Premier is fine, but is that the Chronomat is good with a new, relatively new bracelet. Navitimer, I think they should really reserve the Navitimer for chronographs. I find these three-hand chronographs, even though they have no date, so they could be interesting for you. The Navitimers.
Yeah, but it's a Navitimer without a chronograph or without the ruler bezel, and all of these things are missing. And it's not a Navitimer.
No, I think cut this off, cull the fat. Just keep the Navitimer.
Go back to your originals.
Exactly. Correct. And just they have too many references there. The Navitimer range has like 2 pages of things. It's just too many. So I think they're going the path of Omega at the moment. Way too many things. And I know that George Kern cut it down, right? He cut down the production lines and all of the different variations. And now it's spreading again into way too big, right? I think he has to take the axe to the references. Anyhow, that's what I predict. Let's go to the next brand, because otherwise we will be here all day.
Forever. All right.
Omega.
Go on.
Omega.
Yes.
What will we see? A new Speedmaster limited edition.
A Snoopy limited edition, 100% every year. No. Let's be real. We just got the 3861 Speedy, so we got it 2-3 years ago. That ain't going anywhere. That's not going to do anything. What we did lose out on was our baby Speedy, right? The FOIS is, I believe, discontinued. I think you can still pick some up. They're still available throughout the networks, but they are officially discontinued, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this now opens up the floor for a smaller Speedmaster, and not a Speedmaster reduced, not something with an ETA movement or whatever they want to call it. but something that does have the 3861 movement. So let's see what they come up with in that round. But I would like to see that.
Yeah, that's good. What I think will happen, and it's a prediction that I think is generally, I don't know, it's just not, nobody really talks about it. They have released this special edition Seamaster Professional, right? I forgot.
Special edition as in which one? There's 1,000 of them.
Yeah, the Seamaster 300.
Blue?
No, there was a special edition for something. Let me see. Anyhow, but my point.
So you're talking 300M or 300?
The SM 300, the SMP 300, the professional.
The professional.
Yeah, not the 300M.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then there's a bunch of limited editions, right? There's the one we talked about before.
So the diver. Should have said the diver 300M.
They're both divers.
Yeah, I know it's confusing.
300M.
The one with
but
date.
If you say professional, that always, because the other one is not a professional series. The other one's the heritage series.
Yeah, the one with the date.
Or vintage or whatever they call it. But
so there was one recently released. It was not the Necton edition. What was the newest one?
The Summer Blue.
Paris 2024. That was the one. Sorry. Paris 2024.
Oh, yeah.
And in this one, they have a new bracelet with a quick release bracelet with a button. And that is...
So like Panerai and like Cartier and all these other ones.
Correct. And it's completely compatible with the old cases because the whole technology is not in the case, it's in the bracelet. Right, so that means
so it clips onto the
correct. You have a little button underneath. You press it or you push it, and then you can remove the bracelet. Basically, like like Vacheron Constantin with their overseas and stuff like that. It's really, really nice. Or like IWC and others. So that is a perfect thing to roll out to everybody because the bracelet was one of the holdbacks from the SM300P, the Seamaster Professional.
But the bracelet sucks on the SMP 300.
Yes, and it still doesn't taper, which is also still something where I think, come on, right? But I think quick change bracelets could be a game changer for that watch in general because you know how many people don't actually change their straps much because it's not something they even know they can do.
Yeah. So okay, I agree with this. Okay. So you're basically saying that the layman will be able to change their bracelet, which they otherwise wouldn't have, and then they wouldn't have bought the watch because
exactly
they didn't like the bracelet.
And you know how much that can.
But that's why the rubber is there.
Yeah. Exactly. That's maybe they actually deliver it even with two bracelets, right? With the rubber and the bracelet, so that you can
that would be cool.
Strip. And because then people might take this watch for a longer period of time because you don't lose the interest as much if you can change the straps. You just
correct.
This is what we said before. When watch companies just keep the relationship with the customer and saying like, okay, we know now that you activated your warranty. We have your email address. After half a year, 1 year, we'll contact you and say like, hey, how are you enjoying your Seamaster Professional? Is it great? Why don't you think about, since we know which model you have, these are the straps that also fitted where you were. Maybe consider buying an extra strap. You can actually
bring it into the boutique. We'll change it for you for free.
Exactly, whatever. Just to extend your life cycle, your relationship with the customer. Just do something with the customer. I think sometimes the watch brands are just, and just make them love their watches a bit more. Just foster this relationship. Why not? You have all of the details, right? It's just like, come on.
So one more thing that I do want to mention. I talked about this before. I believe that the current SMP 300 is in line with the old 1861 Speedmasters. If you look at the design, you look at the bracelet, you look at the architecture of these watches, they are cut from the same cloth. They were the same era in Omega's history. And then they came out with 3861, where they had the insane tapering of the bracelet from like 20 to 15. And that means the SMP 300 is now behind, essentially, one generation behind. So at any point in time, I'm fully expecting a brand new, fully redesigned SMP 300. I'm expecting it with a tapered bracelet.
I 100% agree. And I hope they get rid of these hollowed out hands because I'm I realized when I had this watch, that was the one thing that actually bothered me a bit. The hands, they were not. I know that probably Omega fans will kill me for it, but I didn't like the hands.
I like them. I don't mind them. I have no issue with them. But I've never had one. I've never owned one. But looking at it for years and it's, briefly.
Yeah. Anyhow, so I think you're right. The taper, for example, the rubber strap does taper a lot. Weirdly enough.
Yes, it does.
The bracelet does not.
Also, why the hell is it 42 millimeters? Like, seriously, Omega. Everyone's moving towards smaller watches and they're just getting bigger and bigger.
Well,
it's like as if they don't know what they're doing.
2017, right? So,
yeah, but it went up from 41.
I know.
And at that time, Rolex was already making things smaller.
Yeah, I think it's just the end of, the development cycles, missed the wind in which the direction was going. But I think you're right. We will see a completely redesigned Seamaster Professional, but I don't think we will see this this year.
And on top of I agree, because they wouldn't have released this new bracelet for the old one. But I do want to mention this. Rolex has kept 36mm watches in their repertoire forever.
Yeah.
Name me one 36mm Omega.
Constellation.
Besides a women's model.
DeVille.
DeVille's 38.5.
They have no small ones?
Or no, is it even bigger? Is it 39.5? Once again, the men's version, DeVille men's Omega.
I think they're all 39.
A big boy. 39, 39.5, something like that.
They have 34. They have even 34. But
for the ladies, yes.
I guess there would be ladies considered.
No, it's all 40. They're all 40 and 39. The quartz is 39, which ladies want.
Yeah.
But the men's is 40. So once again, even their dressiest of timepieces is
true
40 mm. Why? Why don't they have small watches? When they had the Speedmaster reduced, or not reduced, sorry, the first Omega in space, that was 39 as well, which was not a very small. Seamaster range, the Aquaterra, the smallest you can get, 38.5, 39, right?
Yeah, when you look at their catalog, I think there's so many sleeper hits actually with Omega, which I find terrible that we are not speaking about these watches. The Globemaster, for example, the Constellation Globemaster with a pipe hand dial and the tungsten bezel, and these are fantastic watches. 39 millimeters, fantastic watches. 39.5.
They like to leave off the 0.5, but it is 39.5, which to me is 40.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. 38.5 is 39.
Beautiful bracelets. Absolutely fantastic designs, right? But nobody talks about it. I just don't understand it.
Look at Prince Harry. He had his mother's. They used to have the Omega Seamaster Professional in the small size, in 36 mm.
And quartz.
They called it the what was it? The middle size.
Mid-size, yeah, exactly.
Mid-size dive watches. So these did exist. And
they did indeed.
What happened? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
And now Tudor with 37 mm, we're right back to where we started.
Yes. So I think, you're right. I think our prediction then for Omega, to summarize, new bracelets rolling out. Maybe
smaller watches.
Maybe we see smaller watches, exactly, and hopefully we see some interesting updates or relaunches of certain brands. I mean,
and stop putting date windows on everything. They don't need it. That's another issue I have with the S&P 300 specifically. Is only special editions get no dates.
Have the entire Speedmaster range that mostly has no dates.
Correct. All right, moving on.
Anyhow,
what's your next brand?
So
for us?
My next brand, and this is just to annoy you. No, it's Moser. What do we think?
We're going to get hopefully a 39 millimeter streamliner with a normal dial, but I don't think it's going to be, maybe not this quickly, because the other one just released. It could be, but from the way Ed Malon spoke with us, it seemed like this was not now, it would be in like a year to come. So
wow,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Moser, we definitely see an extension of the streamliner range. I am looking for maybe a bit of a relaunch of the Pioneer range with smaller watches, because I also feel exactly like Omega, too many large size watches in a lot of their ranges. There is no option for smaller wristed people or for just people who want a more elegant watch, which is a bit smaller. So definitely, I think they already do it with the Streamliner. They have shrunken it down. That will happen to some other lines as well. New versions that are smaller. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Okay, next.
That was quick.
Lovely stuff, and they always will surprise us with something else that we didn't expect. So that's the cool thing about.
What's your next brand?
Invicta.
Sorry.
Okay, next one is Breguet.
I have nothing to say.
That's the thing, right? Breguet is they just released the Type 20, the new version of it in 2023.
Which looks exactly like the old Type 20, which looks exactly like the Type 20
I think
before
it looks
that,
worse. It looks worse. It has all of these cutouts, the indices are cut, and it's so weird. It's just like, what did they do? They put the date on 4:30. Well, they had a perfectly fine place at 6 o'clock before. Why? What? I really am disappointed. I saw recently we saw that in the exhibition.
Yeah,
in our mall walk, and we saw Breguet, and then you look at all of these historic models and you think, why did they do this, right? It's just a bit like questionable.
Breguet has lost its way for me.
Yeah.
I have no interest in Breguet whatsoever.
Yes, last year they released the new version, which with the onyx enamel dial, the black one with the rose gold, and oh my God, is this beautiful. So they have some amazing watches. Some are just fantastic, but I think they just need to get their focus on create iconic models and keep them and just marketing them properly. Really bad marketing.
I dozed off there. Did you say something?
Next brand with this from the same conglomerate, also starting with the same letter, Blancpain.
I figure that's where you're going.
So
more swatches, everybody.
I think
that new one looks awesome, by the way. I saw the new one.
The black one? Yes.
The black. Oh my
the
God.
Ocean of Storms.
Finally. They got one right.
If you put this on an Artem sailcloth strap or something, or
no one will be able to tell the difference.
On a nice rubber strap or on a leather strap. Oh, no, lovely. Anyhow.
In this vein, I have to say, make small 50 fathoms.
This is exactly my wish.
Not limited edition.
Make a 40 or 41 millimeter 50 fathoms.
Why 41? They've done 39.
Yeah, 39 for whatever. I mean, and the bathyscaphe as well. Yeah. Make it shrink it down. The normal edition from 43 and a half or something. Make it 41 or 40, please. They have a 38 millimeter version, but that's also a bit too small for some people, right? So just make a 40 version. You have the 38, make a 40, 41.
Yeah, but the 38, for which one? For
the bathyscaphe. For the 50 fathoms, please make it 39, 40.
This is the issue, is because the bathyscaphe does have the smaller sizes, but the 50 fathoms has never had it.
Yeah.
It's only had it with these special editions.
Please.
I don't know why.
Yeah, see the one that they have released in this bronze gold. My God, what a cool material!
That one. So exactly that. Release that in stainless steel. Call it a day. I mean, they're sitting on a giant pile of money, and they refuse to get up. Essentially, is what's going on.
I have to bring up Rajiv again, because Rajiv has the Seamaster 300, the one, not the diver. The 300, the other one.
They're both divers.
Yes, the one without the date, right? Yeah.
The Heritage one.
What is it called, man? I have to.
Heritage.
Heritage, exactly.
300
Heritage. He has the one in bronze gold. And that material is shockingly cool.
Did you know they made one in platinum?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But this bronze.
They had, in the previous generation, you got a very big spread. They've kind of, with the new generation, they went smaller. In the previous one, you could get it in yellow gold, platinum. You could get it in titanium or stainless.
Right. And they have
I thought that was super cool.
They have the yellow gold as well. Did you see the yellow gold with this weird dial that is also like a what is it? Malachite, precious stone.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
With this different. If Rolex has a day-date with this dial, everybody goes, "Oh, it's amazing," right? Omega comes out with this watch in yellow gold with this malachite dial. And everybody's like, okay, let's move on. It's a shame sometimes.
Nobody cares about.
Yeah, but why not?
About
It's so weird because it's
Omega
probably
for some
also,
reason.
it's a 41 millimeter watch. It's just like, I don't know. It's such a beautiful watch.
It's super cool.
And it's a shame.
On a strap.
So just get your marketing in order.
It's what, 200,000 dirhams, roughly.
That's a
and it's on
problem.
a strap.
It's on a
It's
leather
on a
strap,
strap.
but it's so cool. Anyhow, so there's so many gems in the Omega catalog. There's
So by the way, I'm sorry. I implied that the platinum was discontinued,
It's not?
and I'm currently unavailable online. It doesn't say it's not available, but it is 25,000 dirhams roughly. Oh, $25,000. Dollars,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
dirhams.
Dirhams, that would be a steal.
Oh no, I'm stupid. No, sorry.
Pounds?
I'm an idiot. No, it's 100,000. For some reason, my Omega website is coming up in Australian dollars, and I don't know Australian dollars very well, but it's about 80,000 US dollars, which then would be what? Doing some maths here, roughly 200,000. I forgot a zero. That's what it was. Not 20,000 dirhams. 200,000 dirhams. Is roughly what I was trying to say.
Okay.
See, I knew my conversion was correct. Just the zero was missing.
Okay. So why are we talking about Omega again? So we have already
I don't know, because I like Omega. You brought it up with Rajiv again.
Yeah, just because of the material, right? The material
cool.
of bronze gold. Okay.
All right. Anything else from Blancpain?
Because that is the Blancpain that they just released as the last act of the 70th.
Can we go back to Breguet?
Yeah.
For a second?
Okay.
We will have a Type 20 swatch.
No, they already categorically said, the CEO said, we are open, the CEO of the Swatch Group, Nick Hayek, has said,
Yes.
we will have cooperations with any of our brands, open to any of it except Breguet. I mean, has he backtracked before? Yes, he did. So, but as he is on record to say,
we'll move on. We'll talk about this when we talk about Swatch. We'll talk about Swatch. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay.
So Blancpain. Anything else? Done. Moving on.
The next brand that we have to talk about is Glashütte Original. What do I want to see from them? I would love to see a bit of funkier versions of the CQ dive watch.
I was going to say CQ no date,
Yeah,
please.
Exactly. A nice no date.
The small one in a no date, and that would be fantastic.
I would love that too. Yeah. I think the panoramic date, been there, done that. I have one myself, love it to bits, but I think they need to have another halo model, sort of, right? So I would love them to do that. And also the Swatch Group, please, Glashütte Original, do some marketing for this brand. This brand is
Nobody knows about
underrated, right? They have so many cool watches. Anyhow,
so let's talk about Glashütte Original's big overshadowing brother, which is not technically its brother, but A. Lange & Söhne, right?
Yeah, it comes later, but we need to do it now.
Before we get there, my issue is they do a lot of things very, very similar, right? But what Glashütte is missing is an Odysseus simulator, integrated bracelet sports watch. So if they were to release one of those, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that would be killer if they would do that. I would love that. I mean, their movements are fantastic with hundreds of hours of power reserve, right? They're beautiful to look at. The double swan neck versions with the engravings on it, hand engraved, lovely stuff. They are the baby A. Lange & Söhne. That's what a lot of people call them, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, then let's move on to A. Lange & Söhne. What do we want them to do? Or what do we expect them to do? More of the same old, nothing new. More side work, more lumens, and so on. I don't know. What I want them to do is just one single thing. I want them to reissue the 40 millimeter 1815 because that's the one I want. The old one. The old one I loved, so I want the new one. Or I just buy the old one. But I think this is a beautiful watch that is so simple, so stylish, so elegant, and at 40 millimeters, it just worked. The current version, I don't know. I did the rose gold. I want this watch. I think that's the one on top of my list at the moment.
How big is the current version? I know nothing about this.
I forgot because they have so many.
It's not a watch that I am drawn to.
Yeah, me neither. but I sat together with a friend, and he wore that watch, and I couldn't take my eyes off it because it just looked so nice. Up on the opposite side of the table, I could see him wearing it, and I thought, my God, this is so nice. How did I not know about this watch that much, right? So 1815, let me see. There's a chronograph versions that they have at the moment, which I don't like that much. 1850 rose gold. What's the size? I think they've reduced it to 120,000. That's it's so nice. Why doesn't it say? Here, 38.5. It's a lovely watch. It's beautiful. And if you look at it, it's hand wound, right? And you look at the back and you think, oh my God, this is just stunning. I could live with the current version, but I think the 40 millimeters was just a bit better for my wrist. So that's why I very selfishly want a 40 millimeter one. Anyhow, so that's it. Next, that's A. Lange & Söhne. Done. Longines.
What is next?
Longines.
Yeah. They just launched this fantastic 39 millimeter diver, right? The Heritage was it
the small version of the
Longines Legend diver.
Legend diver, yeah.
Which I think was fantastic. Good on them, and
Absolutely.
I think this is the correct direction, and more of this, please.
Yeah, and
less slab-sidedness.
I like the Longines, the Spirit, Zulu Time, the Master Collection. I love that they actually keep it the same. Just give it time to really become iconic to a certain extent. And I think more and more people now understand the Master Collection. Hydro Conquest as their dive watch, sure, is fine. I don't care much for them, but that's just me. Then they have this high beat one that they released a couple of years ago. What was this one? I forgot the name. What is it called? You remember that? The high beat.
The high beat. No, that was the quartz. I remember
Ultrachron. The Ultrachron.
Ultrachron, yes.
No date, something that you must like, right? Ultrachron was no date, 36,000 vibrations per hour. This shows what Longines can do together with the ETA group as their in-house movement manufacturer. High beat movements, 36,000. We don't see this in any other ETA Swatch Group brand having these high beat movements. Maybe I think Breguet has one. But anyhow, so we don't see this much, right? So that's pretty cool. Oh, sorry. Blancpain has high beat chronographs. So yeah, this is all things where you think Longines is on a very, very good trajectory. I think they will hammer out a couple of these rehashes of the new ones in smaller sizes. The new Hydro Conquest GMT looks cool. I think they are on a good path and they will continue there. Yeah.
Okay.
Laurent Ferrier, not much to say about Laurent Ferrier. They make very, very timeless, wonderful watches. I have no idea what comes next.
More same.
But yeah.
Different colors.
Wonderful watches. Yeah. Rado. Have you seen the recent versions of what Rado has released?
No.
You haven't?
I don't pay attention to Rado because of that big gold thing, the big gold one everybody thinks about when you think Rado. No, I like the Captain Cooks. I have no issues with the Captain Cooks.
They're called the True Square, right? That are the True Square ceramic. Super cool watches. Also in nice skeletonized versions. Absolutely cool. Then they have the new Anatom integrated watch. If you look at it, it's cool. It's such a cool watch. I mean, Rado is absolutely killing it, I think. They have really, really cool designs.
The one that I'm thinking of a different one.
Are you on the website now?
The one that I looked at the one you're talking about. It's not the one I'm talking about. The one that I'm talking about is known as the New Original.
that sounds like
that is the one.
Original copy. Is this watch fake? Original copy.
I think that's what it's called. New Original. Am I right? Let's see. This is Rado's website. Is it
Maybe
not?
It's just classic. Captain Cook, True Square, Centric.
Diastar.
Yeah. I remember this.
So I don't know what New Original. I'm assuming that was the beginning of what they were in the website. That
Diastar was the watch that I never liked. I never liked this watch. I never liked the shape.
The problem is I look at this and I see, like you say, Rado, I see this.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Rado, you have to forget what they did before, because they have now such cool watches that I think
they were the first company to make ceramic cases.
They make the ceramic cases for all Swatch brands. If you have
but what were they known as? What was their original name? Not name, but like what was their nickname? The Master of Materials.
Yes. I think something like that. Yeah. I think Yeah. And I think now with the new integrated braces, this Anatom watch is cool for people who like this. This is I think they are on a very good path. Whoever pays attention to these brands from the Swatch Group, please take what you did with Tissot, with Longines, with Rado, to the other brands, to Certina, to Blancpain, to Breguet, and just come on, do it, right? Just get them to kick out some good stuff. Omega, just do better. You can do it. Anyhow, so next brand, says Rado. So I think they're on a fantastic path. They should continue. Will I consider them for myself? Probably not, because it's just not my wheelhouse, but I like what they do. Tissot. Do we see another PRX? You saw the digital version this year, right?
The digital one was hideous and stupid.
So have they lost like the plot? I mean, hit after hit.
Stretching, because they hit this home run, and then the issue with success is following it up.
Yeah.
Right. And I think with this massive success that they had, they are really looking at each other like, okay, what the hell do we do now? And
yeah, I think there might have been a bit too much.
I don't know.
Just do it. Continue. Few more colors. Just ride the wave. Leave the watch as iconic as it is, and have it as a permanent.
Maybe
part.
No more plastic movements.
Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't really matter. I mean, repairing, when people say, "Oh, it's plastic," who cares? It's even if it's few parts are made of specific new materials. What's the problem with that?
I personally don't like it. I think that, this is becoming very Swatch-y, saying that, okay, well, we have these non-serviceable components. I think you should.
It's which parts are plastic. It's the ones that then have the pallet fork and all of these other things. So who cares? These are things that will be replaced
out over time.
Will be replaced by service. You can service these watches; they are serviceable.
Yes, you can, but the part itself, I feel like
the problem is
a normal pallet fork is going to last much longer, and by having this plastic piece, you're going to have to service it more frequently.
Maybe, but we don't know that.
Just a guess,
because it doesn't need lubrication. Who knows? I mean,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. But because it actually...
You don't want lubrication, make it ceramic.
Yeah,
but that's going to cost you some money.
I think nobody made it in ceramic because maybe it's too heavy.
No, but something, frictionless like this.
Anyhow, the point is there, I think...
Sapphire.
When you have a movement that is so cheap, right? And because it's a watch that sells for $500, $600, and the movement costs, because that's the retail price, so take 50% off, and then you have the sales price that goes to the authorized dealers. So the watch... They produced the watch for, let's say, $150 or something, or $180. That's their cost, maybe maximum. So the movement is what, 100, let's say, if you're, because it's inside the group, cost them $100. For $100, you can't service movements. I mean, if you have to spend, a watchmaker has to spend more than an hour servicing it, it makes no sense. Replace it, because it's just more financially. That's the problem with these cheaper movements.
That doesn't make it environmentally sustainable.
What the Swatch Group does is they take the movement, they see what needs to be done, they give you a refurbished movement, and then they replace it most likely. And then they take that movement, and depending what needs to be done, they refurbish it, or they just, recycle it.
Toss it.
Yes.
Recycle it in the garbage, yes. All right,
Anyhow,
moving on.
So anything else from Tissot? Do we think we see something new? I think the T-Touch is bound. No, it won't. Okay. That's one watch I remember.
All right, moving on. Hamilton.
Let's do let's do three brands in one. Hamilton, Certina, and Mido.
No, okay. I have no issue with or no
Opinion.
insight, I should say, opinion about Mido and Certina.
But
they're not brands that I affiliate with,
But we have-
or like not affiliate, but the not brands that I have real affinity towards. Hamilton, on the other hand, I really do like, and I think they know what they're doing sometimes. My issue is look at their lineup and show me one watch without Fotina. Why? Why does every single Hamilton need Fotina? I think there's one that doesn't have it, which is the Jazz Master something, the blue one. But other than that, like the nice little 38 millimeter field watches, Fotina. And the second thing is, I think these 38 millimeter watches, for me, I recently got my hands on another one, and it was big. It was bigger than I remember. I remember before I started downsizing watches, it felt small, right? Going from a 41 millimeter something to this 38 millimeter field watch, it felt dainty and small. But now going from a 35.5 millimeter Explorer to this, it felt huge. So I think their smaller watch, which is their Pioneer Pilot, is the correct size. So I think they should really kind of push the boundaries a little bit more and get their field watch down to 36 mm. Originally, these were 33, 34.
But they have the 37 millimeter version of the field watch.
It's 38. It's 38.
No, well, it says 37.
Yes. Which one?
The khaki field expedition auto.
Oh, Expedition. No, I'm talking about the mechanical. Expedition is unfortunately
but that's automatic.
not in
It's
Hamilton's price point. So the Expedition is $1,000, euros, whatever, which I think is double where Hamilton should be. Hamilton for me is a $500 watch,
Oh, no.
2,000 dirham watch,
No, that's
and that's their wheelhouse.
that ship has sailed.
It still is. Those are still 2,000 dirhams. The khaki field mechanicals.
Yeah, the 38. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying make that a little bit smaller. And that's kind of the only real
500
thing I
Swiss
would have.
francs.
And no more Fotina, please.
But I think if you look at all of the other ranges that they have, there's not much Fotina on them. All the chronographs don't have Fotina.
No. If you look at the it's always the little
Jazz Masters.
Lume bits. The Jazz Masters don't have.
Yeah.
It's the chronos do.
The whole American
not a lot of
classics don't
Fotina.
have, these are pretty new. The khakis, most of them don't have Fotina. So I don't know.
Khakis, of course, the khakis have Fotina.
Really?
And
Which ones?
yes, you have to look at the markers around the Rehat.
Khaki
you'll
Navy
see.
Frogman, nothing. Khaki Aviation Converter, nothing. Khaki,
So the American classics do. Are those applied or are they?
the Khaki Aviation has, yes, I agree. Khaki Aviation Crosswind. Yeah, that is a bit.
So yeah, you're right. The
beige.
American classics do not have. The Intramatic Chrono does around the actually it's applied indices. No Lume on that at
I
all.
don't think there is so much. I think that you're looking at specific models that you like, and they have.
Of course,
they
I
have
generally-
Fotina, but a lot of them.
I'm going for the khaki fields and khaki aviation.
You strike me more like a
And those two.
Ventura person.
No.
No, I think
For those of you that don't know, the Ventura is the triangular shaped Hamilton watch.
the watch that the Man in Black were wearing,
we're-
and Elvis Presley
once again-
was wearing, the King.
We are spending a lot of time
Yeah,
discussing Hamilton.
yeah, which is
All right,
good. Why
Rado
not? I mean,
Certina, what do you
we have
want?
lots of listeners who are also starting their journey in watch collecting, and so there's the
I have no issues
Certina,
with
Mido, Hamilton.
Hamilton.
So, okay, let's move on then from Hamilton. I think
Yes.
the PSR, the digital quartz, was cool. I had one. I loved it, but I had to part ways with it. Swatch, another collab. So we already touched on it. No Breguet. They have categorically declined that.
Somebody said, is it going to be a
Hamilton.
Seamaster or a CQ? But the problem is both of these, you can't follow up a diver watch with a diver watch.
Yeah, I think
Because I would say Seamaster 100%. However, not after another diver watch. So it's going to be something other than the diver.
I feel maybe a khaki field watch, or from Hamilton, or a Longines.
I think a khaki field watch would be awesome.
And it fits the whole. We can reuse the swatch design, sort of, or frame size, right? Movement.
That sounds awesome. A Hamilton khaki field watch, Hamilton X swatch. That's super cool. Longines I could see, but what model are they going to do? Once again, I think the one that they would choose from the Longines repertoire would be once again the
Aviation.
The VSF. No, what's it called? Their diver. I'm blanking
Legend
at the moment.
diver.
No, not the Legend diver. The other one.
Skin diver.
The modern diver.
The skin diver. What's it called?
The skin diver. The modern one.
Hydro Conquest.
Hydro Conquest. Yes,
yeah,
the Hydro Conquest. That's what I think they would go for.
That would be okay.
But yeah, I guess if you look at it, Swatch tends to go for historical references, which the Hydro Conquest is not historical. The Legend Diver is. So who knows? Oh, you know what they haven't done is a GMT yet. They could do the Longines GMT, the Zulu time. That'd be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, well.
Or a Tissot PRX Swatch.
Yeah, that could be. But then the price difference, 600 to...
Well, the same thing with Longines.
Yeah.
Or sorry, with the Hamilton.
Yeah, true.
You're in the same problem with that one.
But then do a quartz movement, make it again cheaper,
no, 100%.
and then it works.
Make a quartz field watch with Hamilton on the dial, and you got a winner. Make a quartz version of the PRX. You got a winner.
Yeah,
imagine, this is the first time, they make everything in bioceramic, but imagine a bioceramic bracelet.
Yeah.
An integrated
Could be cool.
bioceramic bracelet, and you call it a PRX.
Yeah, that could be super cool. I would like that in funky colors.
Cool.
Funky colors. Okay,
Of course.
I think we have reached another. We have to make a part 3 of this. We have to.
No, we're finishing.
Well, okay. Then we finish. Okay.
Stop doing obscure brands.
It's not
Do normal
obscure.
brands. Cartier.
FP Journe.
Cartier. Let's go. Boom.
FP Journe.
Screw FP Journe.
No FP Journe.
No. Cartier. You cannot bypass Cartier.
No, I won't. JLC, IWC, Parmigiani, Vacheron Constantin, Patek Philippe.
Nobody cares about Parmigiani. Nobody cares about half of the things. Oh, yeah, we haven't done AP.
Excuse me.
What? Parmigiani Fleurier. They're going to make some other watches that are going to look like little round things. And they're going to have little round date windows. Did I miss anything?
Yeah. They're just watchmaking
That's exactly
geniuses.
what they're going to make another Tonda.
Okay, so let's say, let's go FP Journe with nothing. Acrivia, nothing, because they stopped the brand. So the last one came out. All future watches will be Rechappy branded. Gröbe Fossé, we don't talk about it. Richard Mille, you don't care about. Max Büsser and friends.
How are these the brands that come to your mind before Oris, JLC,
Oris,
Hublot,
who
Cartier?
cares about Oris? Oris, Chronoris.
You. But seriously, the fact that you're rattling on these brand names
They are
that
fantastic.
literally
They're fantastic.
nobody cares about.
Yeah, but it's watchmaking, horology. Okay, let's go and talk about JLC then.
How can you bypass Cartier? How
We're
can
not
you bypass
bypassing them.
Cartier?
They're on the list. Like
JLC.
Like they're just on the list with Bulgari and
I see
Panerai.
in my mind's eye for JLC more price increases.
Did you see the new ultra thin master collection that they released today?
No, I did not.
Bad. Every morning before you get out of bed, you have to check the watch news. That's the rule. That's the rule for a Lume plotter. You cannot get out of bed before checking the watch news.
Oh my God! I used to have this. There used to be an app for this, right?
All watch news.
Watchville. Watchville.
Yeah. Forget
And
Watchville.
Watchville
Take
went
all
under.
watch news. That does exactly the same as Watchville. It's called AWN.
So what don't you like about the new master?
What I
line?
don't like about
what
it,
happened?
It's beautiful. It's fantastic. That's the JLC I want to see. And that's a 2024 release. I couldn't have wished for more.
Is there a butt coming?
No, there's no. Yeah, price.
No,
Of course, the price
I
is
thought
always
you
the
were-
but. But the new ultra thin.
I'm looking at them now,
tourbillon.
and they went down in size. They're 39 down from 40, which is fantastic. They look very similar, right? But they're not cheap. The moon phase.
Wow, so beautiful.
Moon phase looks great.
The power reserve is fantastic.
Yes, I was looking at that one as well.
Tourbillon, of course,
the triple calendar.
Wonderful watches.
The perpetual. Ooh.
You see, I told you. So I have.
Well, I mean, they're the same thing. It's not revolution, right?
No,
it's evolution.
Exactly. But it is nice. It is exactly what that line needed. That little, put this
and to make it smaller because they were getting a little big. Yeah, exactly.
Thing.
That's exactly what they did.
Fantastic.
Really cool.
IWC. And then we talk about Cartier next.
Big Pilot 40. Big Pilot 39. I don't care what you call it. You don't even have to call it a big pilot, but I want a pilot, no date, with a big crown. So essentially a big pilot, but small pilot. Small pilot. Let's call it the small pilot.
Yeah.
I don't care, but it needs to have the big onion crown.
Okay.
And no date.
Confession, I still love IWC. I don't have an IWC in my collection. I want one back in my collection. I do like the new Ingenieur, but I'm not so sure if it's fizzling out at the moment, my interest in that design.
Yeah.
Because I
know I like it. I have no issues with it. Would I buy one? No.
I still want one, the Mark 20 on the bracelet. I still like it with the green dial. I think that's still one of the watches that I want.
I like the Mark 20s. I don't like the date window, but I'm glad they moved the date window into a correct position. That's
a tiny bit. Yeah, they moved it out a bit. Okay.
But anyway, that's about it. Maybe we'll see some more colors of the Ingenieur. Maybe some more sizes of the Ingenieur.
Maybe we see a new dial that allows them to push it deeper in price, or a no date version.
A no date, I'd be okay with.
So just get
by deeper, you mean less,
because I think that's the biggest problem is that you have a run of the mill movement of an unsuccessful Genta design with a shitty movement, and you were thinking you can compare that to a Nautilus and a Royal Oak just because Genta designed it. No, don't. So like, it's a steal because it's so much cheaper, half the price of a Nautilus. Duh. So come on,
Mahmoud is going to be pissed.
No, of course he is. I'm just pushing them a bit. Just give us the excuse to finally buy one. Come on, you can do it.
Okay, next go.
Vacheron Constantin. What will they do? Me to have no idea. I think but
no idea. I'm not a big fan of the brand, so you tell me. Yeah, you're the owner.
Yes, I'm have the overseas. I love it. I hope that they will do something to the 56 line, even though it's one of their youngest brand lines. They have released a couple of new ladies overseas recently, which are absolutely fantastic. My wife put one on her wrist, and she likes them, which is bad for the future. But do I have any wishes for them at the moment? No, I think they make fantastic watches. There's nothing that I
that's the best praise you can give a watch brand is just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Next, Patek. Any ideas of what you wish from them?
No, I don't care. I mean, the Patek lines that I really like mostly are the Calatrava. The small Calatravas without a date.
You mean the classic ones or the funky ones?
The classic ones.
So not the 600 ones.
No. The classic ones. And those, I think they know exactly what they're doing, and there's nothing. This is another brand that doesn't need to come out with new stuff. Mm-hmm. If they do, of course, like when they did the week timer, I think that they should come up with something strange, some complication that nobody has done yet, and no one is. Or to my knowledge, I believe nobody did the week of the year timer, right? They were the first ones to do this.
I don't know.
So something like this, something in that vein, something cool.
You know what? For me, I'm the complete opposite. I am really fascinated by their funky watches, by the 600, 6007, 008, whatever. These
weird ones.
Yeah, the weird Calatravas. I like them. I think they're funky. Okay, resins. You want a resins? I think the ones we saw recently on our mall walk are really, really fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
Do you have?
They're in essence big. That's the only complaint that we have about resins. But as we heard from the founder himself, there's no hope in getting it smaller because the movement will not fit.
Okay, but I still at some stage maybe also resins in my collection. Okay, next Cartier.
All right, Cartier. I would like to see more Piaget movements in things. Stop doing your Fleurier, Val Fleurier movements.
But the Piaget movements are also Val Fleurier.
I don't know. The Piaget movements, ultra thin movements, I think they're super cool.
That's true.
Even though they say that, like for instance, they have their own Piaget. They have their in-house movements are finished by
Piaget.
By Piaget. So I mean, honestly, I have no qualms or concerns about the way Cartier is going, and I say keep it up.
Yep, I think they have fantastic watches, beautiful watches. I have, I think the Santos is still for me one that I would like to have one day. But yeah, I think they don't need to have anything new. They have a beautiful catalog. So Oris. Now we're talking about your Oris.
Oris. I know you have a lot to say about Oris. Go on.
No, I think Oris has a very clear catalog for me. That's also very nice, where you can just evolutionize instead of revolutionize. No new lines needed. Mm-hmm. I think we need to see a bit more of the Kermit, the Pro Pilot, where we had the Kermit. So now you have the cooperation with Disney. So I want to see a pink Miss Piggy. I want to see a...
Is it Disney? Is it?
Yes, it's Disney.
It is Disney. Yeah.
I think it is Disney, right? Then the Muppets are owned by Disney now. Kermit. I don't know. I guess. Everything is owned by Disney.
Yes, it is.
So, I want to see more Muppets or Fraggles or, these kind of cool things. Miss Piggy watch in pink would be cool. The Stettler and Waldorf that we need, right? For us, because we are like Stettler and Waldorf, always ranting about things. The two old guys on the balcony from the Muppet Show? Mm-hmm. Who always
which is us.
This is all rubbish.
Stettler and Waldorf, right?
Stettler and Waldorf, yeah. So we need one of these. Maybe the animal, the drummer, Professor Honeydew. Remember all of these? Fuzzy Bear. Cool stuff. I mean, you have so many cool ideas for that. Other than that, what do I want to see? I think good catalog, more in-house movements. Just don't give the choice. Just scrap the.
But that's the problem. But then at the same time, you need to lower the prices. Nobody's paying $4,000 for an Oris.
And see, that's
except for like the people that want the.
That's, for example, one thing that the new CEO of Bremont is said about Bremont. It's like, we are bringing down the prices because we know people expect these watches to they're above
be a certain price.
Yes, so we will do this, and I think Oris maybe you're listening. Okay, what else do we have? We don't want to talk about Hublot, right? Or do we? Anything to say? No.
Frankly, the only thing that I want is a classic fusion with a no date.
Okay.
And I think that'd be cool. And I think I would wear the shit out of that watch. I don't know why, but I would.
Now we have a few more obscure brands like Tag Heuer. Do we have any?
I think Tag Heuer is really
killing it.
I mean, yeah, they're killing it right now with the titanium Aqua Racer, the whatever it's the solar powered one.
Yeah, very nice watch. I love that.
Super cool. I mean, that is so cool. I lose sleep over that watch. It is super cool. And 8,000 dirhams or something like this. Get a discount on it, and you're going to be doing well. I love the new Carrera reissues. I think they can still manage to make them a little bit smaller, but essentially that's it.
Yeah, no, I think they have some.
Anything for you?
Have some really cool stuff. I really don't care for the Tag Heuer Monaco. I don't know.
Me neither. I've tried to care for it.
Me too.
I tried to like it. I tried, and it just you put it on, and it's like literally wearing a brick. It's shaped like a brick. It looks like a brick. It's thick as a brick.
So what I really like, which line I really like, is the Tag Heuer at Otavia. When it came out, it had this new silicone hairspring thing, and it was called the Otavia Chrono something. it had this. I forgot this. I had this on the dial, and only the first few came out, and then I had to withdraw it.
Yes.
And then
I thought there's gonna be a whole line, and nothing happened.
they have a chronograph, and that's it. They have the normal one. I think they have a GMT, and that's it. Yeah.
Very weird. Very
But
strange.
they had this historic, line, and maybe they're cutting down. And if you can get one of the original Octavia that doesn't have under the Octavia name automatic standing, but they had this, what was this, something like that. It was a different printing on the dial. Then it has the super silicone hairspring or something, and it works. Because once you glued it on, it works. But they couldn't glue the spring on and whatever. It was a big disaster. They withdrew the entire launch, which was a bit of a disaster back then. So if you have one, you can get a premium.
Also, do you remember the Monza?
Yes, Monza, lovely watch.
Yeah.
Lovely watch.
What happened to that? They made one, and then just nothing happens, right?
Very weird.
Do they still have them? They have the Caliber 02 one, I think they still have.
I don't think so.
Which is special edition, 100,000 dirhams. Ish, but they used to have a regular Monza, which for a cushion case, it looked cool.
So I think you're on the right track then. I think that's what we see a reissue of this year. But they also have a new CEO, right? Julian Tornare is now the CEO of Tag Heuer. Is it? Or am I wrong? Did I just miss this up?
They also, by the way,
no, I think that is.
Also, and I love the fact that
he was Zenith, now he is Tag Heuer.
I was going to say, did they reissue the Silverstone? I don't know if I'm up to date with Tag Heuer's new releases, but they had the vintage Silverstone line. I don't know if they did reissue it or not. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but it was a square watch, but much more rounded, let's say, than the Monaco. Speaking of, we have Monza, Silverstone, Monaco. I love the fact that they have all these F1 track names.
Yeah, totally.
But it is a more down to earth, I guess, Monaco that is more not user friendly, but wearable. So there's another thing. I mean, you have an old back catalog of awesome looking watches. I don't know. I don't know if it would be successful or not. That's a good question, but I don't know if they reissued this one or not.
I think what I found really nice to see last time I went to the Tag Heuer boutique in Mall of the Emirates is to see the quality of the watches is so much better, right? They had a while where you think, it was just not there to a certain extent. It was a bit, I don't know, but now I feel like they're just rock solid watches. This is really fantastic. You can feel the quality properly. Even the bracelets, everything is super cool. I like their watches now.
I'm looking this up a little bit more about the Silverstone, and there was one reissue in 2010 for an anniversary. It was the 150th anniversary edition, and that was the only one. And they haven't had and it was limited to 1,860 pieces for the founding of Silverstone. But otherwise.
Yeah,
I think that's when you have these types of awesome watches in your catalog, do something with them. Don't just let them
100%.
go to waste.
100% agree. Okay, now Panerai.
Nothing. I don't care.
Nothing. I just feel like beautiful new lines came out. The 40, right? 40 millimeters.
They look the exact same to me.
Of course they look the same. That's the whole Panerai shtick. But they're smaller.
Yeah, I guess.
And they're not the ladies version, right? Because the 38 is also pretty cool.
The
Douai, yeah. But the
Douai is not ladies versions. They have men's versions of the Douai as well.
Yeah, no. It's 42 millimeter, right? The Douai. Anyhow, they have.
I think so. I think it's 42.
40 and whatever. They have now, I think they cover everything. They have beautiful watches, beautiful dials. Just one wish. If you do diver watches, just have more than 30 meters water resistant. That cannot happen, please. Especially if you have a crown guard for a diver.
I mean,
watch.
yeah, what the hell?
Don't.
Yes, you can almost get it wet now. Just to put this into perspective, My Reverso is 30 meters water resistance.
Yep.
And
And
that's ridiculous. A Cartier Panther is more water resistant than a Panerai Luminor Duet.
So that's what I want. Then Louis Vuitton. Will we see more of the tambours? Will they extend that range?
I don't think so. I think that Louis Vuitton will come up with some limited edition expensive stuff. They really put all their eggs in one basket with the tambour. I think the tambour is done for now. They're going to try to bring some more attention towards the tambour by having some very high priced limited editions like the Acrivia ones that they did with the Reshep.
I do think they will have a bit more of the tambours, maybe moon phases, maybe some other complications in it.
They will, but I don't think they'll be right now.
No, I think now
because
rollout phase. Yeah.
So you think they will have
they
it
will
now?
no, not maybe not in 2024
No, okay,
because it just came out. So
well, it could be at the end of the year. I'm talking mostly for what's coming up in Watches and Wonders right now in a couple of months.
So then next, Hermes H08, lovely watch, but I
tried it, didn't like it.
I tried it, I loved it.
Had no issues. Great straps though. But
so I hope at some stage also H08 in my collection they have the new one with a mid case sort of
the prices were really reasonable. I really commend Hermes for having decent prices.
And they have a Vaucher movement which is owned by Parmigiani Fleurier, the same group. It's lovely watchmaking. Zenith.
We're really, really pushing the time frame here.
Zenith.
Zenith, once again, is your wheelhouse. It's not mine.
Zenith. Yeah, we have now seen the Chronomaster Sports with a steel, also tone and tone die.
We discussed this in our watch, in our watch, walk or mall walk.
Yeah, what do we say about that?
Yes.
I feel get rid of the Zenith Skyline with a 10-second hand, the small second that is, going one evolution in 10 seconds, which just makes you completely nervous when you look at the watch. That's me. Maybe you get used to it over time.
It's like somebody on ADHD.
Yeah, exactly.
Drugs
it's like,
right there.
what's going on? Time is fleeting.
Look at it go. Look at it go. Look at it go. Look at it go.
It's like this watch that tells you memento mori, right? It's like, remember you will die. So the positive idea that you should enjoy your time. And this is just like showing you like the time is going. It's running through my hands. Then, okay, so maybe they should do something there. I think they are very close to what Hublot does. Some of their designs of the bigger DeFi collection and stuff also looks very similar to some Hublot chronographs. Also, the bracelet is basically like an Hublot bracelet, right? Some of the stuff is very close, and I think they should move a bit away from that. They should just...
So basically the big stuff is Hublot copies, and then the little stuff is Rolex copies. Is that where I'm at there?
No, I love Zenith as a brand.
They do have their vintage... smaller El Primero reissues, and those are the ones that I like. If I ever got a Daytona, Daytona, sorry. If I ever got a Zenith, a Freudian slip there, right? But the funny thing is, I saw a watch, a Zenith, and the first time I was like, damn. And this was the first time I had this reaction to a Zenith.
Okay.
And it was the vintage reissue of the, whatever El Primero movement it was in bead blasted titanium.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like basically a monochromatic gray chunker. And it looked so cool.
Yeah. I feel...
So if you haven't seen it, let me see what the name of it is. You keep talking. I'll look up the name.
So that's what I feel. I feel bring us a bit more muted elite, a reissue of the elite maybe. I think that is on the horizon. That's what I wish. That would be nice. And then otherwise, I will move to the next one.
Zenith.
Yeah.
Zenith Defy Revival Shadow.
Yeah. Okay. These revivals to me didn't do it, but that's good. So they're all for you. You can have them all.
So surprisingly, no, it's a friggin' good looking watch. Yeah. Like it's really.
But did you see the Chronomaster Sport Pink, the one for the breast cancer awareness thing?
Yes, I did.
Isn't that cool? I love it. It's just, I think it's so nice. Yes, there are similarities, but it's pink. Anyhow, I like it. Wouldn't buy it.
And once again, when
color,
you talk El Primero movement, El Primero movement always has what that I don't like? A date window.
El Primero movements, not the DeFis.
Yeah. No, the El Primero itself. El Primero movement always has the date window at 4:30, right?
Yeah, well, you have some without. I mean, El Primero variants
so
without
this device shadow. This device shadow revival does not have the date window, which I like. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. And then let's rush to the last few ones. Very easy. Chopin. Huh? Oh.
Chopin. LUC's been doing great stuff. Out of my price point, that's kind of it.
Well, but I just recently saw LUC in gold. Beautiful watch. 21. Okay, in dirhams. And it's like new. And you think,
You do get some good deals once in a while.
Do we have anything to say about Gérard Perregaux and Ulysse Nardin? They have done good stuff with a new freak.
They have good, but that Nardin. Also one that we also skipped over was Piaget.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because it's kind of the same. When you say Gérard Perregaux, Piaget, and Chopard, these three kind of, to me, I lump them into one category.
Okay. Because
I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah. Then
big brands that are not so big, I guess. But no, I think.
But Piaget is a huge brand because they do have a lot of jewelry.
The jewelry. Right? But so is Chopard.
Yes, also huge in jewelry. Also big watchmaking.
What about Zenith?
I think
we also forgot about Zenith. Not Zenith, sorry, Bulgari.
Yeah, Bulgari is on the list, but then again, okay, let's go.
Good God, man, we're at an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. We get through it. The viewers will appreciate.
So, dear listeners, if this is too long for you, pause it and pretend that it's a 2-part, 3-part series.
But okay, let's go one by one. Let's do Piaget. I really like the Polo S, for example.
I like the Polo S, but I don't like the date window.
I also feel there's something a bit off in the dimensions that makes it a bit less nice.
Strange.
Something is looking, even if I have it on my wrist, I'm like, it's a bit awkward. So it's not entirely like a hit that I need to have it. Right? I've seen the Arab Watch Guide special edition that they have, and that looks really cool. The chronograph version. Maybe the chrono is a bit better than that, the normal time only one. Anyhow, so that's what I hope, that they redesign the Polo and make it just so that I like it.
For me, I think they should retake the crown of the thinnest watch, because if you recall. They had the Altiplano, and then Richard Mille comes along and says, "Oh no, we win." However, the Richard Mille, you need a key to wind it, and I'm saying, okay, then stack the key on top of the goddamn watch. Like, put that on there, and that's the thickness, because it's not the watch by itself. I don't care how thin your movement is. If you have to have a separate device to wind it,
it's like Richard Mille coming and just destroy the party, right? You had Piaget and Bulgari fighting it out with actual watches.
Yeah, and then they come over here with this Ferrari garbage. I'm really,
credit cards.
I don't like it. And that's the thing is, for me, I would like a proper watch house to take back this crown, and I think Piaget is the one to do it.
Yeah,
I mean the technology that Piaget uses in the Altiplano, that they don't use a dial essentially, right?
Yeah.
The back plate is the dial, and stuff like this is
a
crazy.
Movement that is like a millimeter thick. Blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely crazy stuff. And the sapphire crystals and all of the stuff, and that doesn't touch each other, and you still have hands and
And there was one. Did you hear about this? When they put it together and it stopped working. They had the movement, it worked, and then as soon as they cased it, it stopped working because the tolerances were so fine that as soon as you pushed on the dial, it touched the hands so they couldn't spin, because that's the type of tolerances we're talking about here.
About microns there, I think. It's just insane. So yeah, going through that, we said, okay, Gérard Perregaux, I think we need to see a relaunch of the Laureato. It's the hit model, it's the iconic, but whenever you think Gérard Perregaux, that's what you think of. It's due for a refresh. They need to refresh it. They could have a hit if they do it right. The hit that they never had. I think they could do it. Same as you listener, I wish same that they're giving us a more affordable versions of the Freak, which is great. More toned down version of the Freak, which I like because it was gaudy. It was too gaudy for me. Now we are going and focus on the technology. We see the movement as the star and not the gaudiness and flashiness. So I think that's good. Will this maybe offend some of the traditional you listener customers? Maybe. But you have to see where you want to go, right, with the brand. Yep. So good stuff. What did we say next? Chopard. I think we finally we could see the Mille Miglia being completely redesigned because it could be a really nice watch.
It's such a waste. It could be. It could be. And the Chopard name is really having a renaissance. Yeah. So let them
Alpine
do
Eagle
something with that.
Was great. I think we all like the Alpine Eagle.
Yep.
It's also one that I've really considered a long time, and maybe I still do. But they also have maybe a nip and tuck here and there, and then it could be a bit better.
What else? What was I thinking about before I lost my train of thought? There's a bunch of other brands that we need to talk about. So Chopard, they have some good stuff. Let's move on to Bulgari once again. Bulgari. More Octos, Finissimos, that is. I'm not a huge fan of the Octo Roma. It's not my cup of tea, but the Finissimos I love. But unfortunately, I don't think it's very wearable.
Haven't we seen it
at the size?
All?
Yeah, we have. But now imagine a 38 millimeter Octo Finissimo.
See, I think Bulgari has
boom done.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I think
because the reason people shy away from it is because it's too big and flat. Now imagine them downsizing that. I mean, it would take a feat of engineering, but still, it'd be awesome.
I think a way of taking that Genta design, the Octo, right, and taking it with a less broad integrated bracelet, because that's one of the things. What is it? 28 millimeters, 27 millimeters.
No, but this could be done if it was a smaller dial.
Yeah, maybe. You can just come up with a new model that's inspired by this, but definitely. I think with the last release that they had, this racing, what is it, PlayStation, Gran Turismo, the two versions that they had with the PlayStation Gran Turismo racing game, the collaborations they had, very lazy. I didn't like them. I like them sort of, the yellow version of it, but I feel like, where is the Gran Turismo in these watches? Very simple, not in-house movement.
Yeah, I'm looking.
And you think, come on, guys, that's what you think you had to release as a new watch? That's a bit like, so underwhelming to a certain extent. Where I thought, come on. Also, I think somebody said this in I don't know who that is. Sorry if I forget this. The Venn diagram between Gran Turismo fans and Bulgari fans. There is no overlap.
Zero. There is zero overlap in that demographic. They're how much are they? So they're 4,800 US, limited to 1,200 pieces. Of the anthracite dial and 500 of the yellow dial.
I don't know.
So they're 20,000 dirhams. So it's not like we're talking about a huge.
Fabrizio Buonamasto. Come on. But anyway, you can do better. I think, So that's.
Now, riddle me off the names of the brands. We do not have any more time. Riddle off every brand name that you have left. And if we have anything to input, we will say it then.
Well, we don't have to talk about them that much, but we spoke about IWC. We did, right? Yeah, we did. Okay. So we have here what we haven't spoken about is Vulcain, Mont Blanc, Norcaine, Frederic Constant, Zin, Ming, Chaikin, and Karl F. Bucher, since they are now a Rolex company.
All right, perfect. So we could end because no one cares what these people do. So excellent, guys. Thanks for listening to us. It's been an hour and a half of us talking, but I'm not going to let Ralf take your time and
talk about the Vulcain
go
cricket.
Into these. However, I will, yes. However, I will say that if you do have a brand specifically that you would like us to discuss that we have not discussed, mention it in the comments on the Instagram or message us, and we will happily, in the next episodes coming up, mention those brands and what we think those brands are going to do.
I do think Frederic Constant makes really good watches.
I don't
The High Life.
doubt
Very good.
the High Life.
Nice.
Yes, I know. I tried it on and I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice.
I don't think I can get beyond the name. That's my issue.
I know.
But remember, the same thing happened for Christopher Ward. I couldn't get past the name until the new logo.
Yeah, maybe if...
And now they don't put the name anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if Frederic Constant just makes an FC logo.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah, they need to come up with something else than just putting the whole, biblical text on the dial. And
it's a made-up name, right?
Characters,
It's a marketing name.
It's
I
too
think.
long.
Yeah,
anyway, yes. All right. Excellent.
On
Thank
this
you guys.
bombshell.
Sorry for taking
Thank you for sticking with us.
insane amount of your time.
Yes.
See you.
You got the movie.
Bye-bye.
1.5 hours, movie length. Full feature length.
We should use the film compact to time it.
In 2 years, we will do that. Alrighty.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
See you.